Okay, folks, we're looking a bit westbound on Level Street towards the old Kalamazoo Gazette right there on the left, the State Theater just beyond it, the Kalamazoo Mall. This is John Street on the left, and it used to be Henrietta Street on the right that went right past the front of Upjohn's downtown headquarters. On this corner, now it's all Bronson Hospital right here, and across the street here as well, Bronson Hospital Medical Facility. There's the Hinman Skyrise and so forth. But back in the day, there was a large, I believe it was 14 or 15 stories, office building right here, all brick. Maybe it wasn't that tall, it was all 10 stories anyways. You can look it up on the Upjohn historical site, downtown Henrietta Street location, Dr. Upjohn's office and so forth. My grandfather's been in his office and talked with him. My grandfather had an office a couple of floors below the old man, he said, back in the day. And my grandfather was in charge of shipping and receiving for the Upjohn company. He wore sleeves up and worked on the dock back in the day, and then worked his way up into the office, his coat and tie, a couple floors below the old man. One day, Dr. Upjohn called my grandfather in and asked him if he would go and pick him up a couple of cigars. And Dr. Upjohn wasn't really known to smoke, but he gave my grandfather $5, and my grandfather went down on Portage Street near Washington Square to where there was a well-known tobacconist and a drugstore, and he went and bought 2 cigars. They were about 50 cents a piece. He came back, brought them up, checked through the secretary, went in and gave them to, quote, the old man. And he thanked my grandfather. He told him he could keep the change, and he gave him $10 for making the run for him. And my grandfather thanked him and left his office and never could quite figure out what that was all about. But that was a little personal interaction that he had one day with Dr. Upjohn, the old man. But right here on this corner, in the day when the company was here, was a huge mansion, a beautiful mansion, Victorian era. It transitioned into a funeral home, and then it was raised. Right here, as you go down towards the Kalamazoo Mall, where other businesses, now it's a parking structure. There's a wonderful Chinese restaurant that was right there, run by Mr. Shui Lum. Wonderful, wonderful Chinese restaurant. And across the street right here, of course, the Kalamazoo Gazette, and another building that was a structure on this corner has now been razed. Okay, a little history down here about my grandfather back in the day and going picking up cigars for the old man who didn't even smoke. Interesting. I think it was a test. What do you think? Have a great day. Merry Christmas.